Let's talk horse racing, fellas. It's a Friday. We usually record on a Thursday, but hey, it is what it is. And we have some racing, stakes, graded stakes racing at Aqueduct, actually, whatever you want to call it, BAQ, Churchill, Santa Anita. We won't be doing the races at Aqueduct because of the rain, but there is one of the top horses in the industry racing on Saturday at Aqueduct in the rain in the Grade 1 Woodward, and that is Life is Good. So, Chad, welcome. Do you expect Life is Good to dominate, whether it's the rain or not?
Yeah, he's run really well on an off track before. He towers over this field. It should be very much a flight line like performance that we saw in the Pacific Classic, which then sets up kind of the duel of do we see them both in the Breeders' Cup Classic? But Flightline took care of his responsibilities. Now it's Life is Good's turn. I see no obstacle in his reign, even if it is an umbrella.
Yeah, and it's only a 5-horse field.
5-horse field. He's 1-9, and he should be 1-9 against that group.
Yeah. So we are going to talk about. Actually, before we get into that, last week didn't you say you were going to hold back one of those horses this week, Chad? You said we did the filly and the colt. The colt was thanks to you, John. And you were going to give out the filly to keep an eye on in the future.
I'm still looking for it.
Okay. So as soon as you get the filly, you let me know.
So what we're doing, what race now?
All right. So we're going to be now doing 2 races at Churchill. One for our free viewers. That is going to be the Lukas Classic. That's race number 10 at Churchill Downs. So that's the first race on tap. Then, because I'd say a good percentage of our viewers, for whatever reason, have yet to subscribe to our Patreon page for as little as $5 a month, those free viewers will go away, and only our Patreon viewers will get an opportunity to watch us break down race number 9 at Churchill, which is the Grade 3 AC Stakes, and then we'll break down race 7 at Santa Anita Park, the Grade 2 Eddie D Stakes, not to be confused with Eddie Reed Stakes, which I actually confused myself with.
Eddie D was a jockey, Eddie De La Houssaye, so that's named for him. Go ahead. Let's
go. I like
go.
that bit of trivia. Okay, so let's get started with race number 10 at Churchill Downs, the Lukas Classic Stakes, Grade 2 for 3-year-olds and up. This should go off close to 5:30 on Saturday, and we start with the one King Fury, who just looks a little bit slow, a 13 and a 16 this year, including a 13 last time out on this racetrack. So nothing to like about King Fury, John?
Well, he had 10s and a 9 last year, but no, he looks a little slow. There are clearly faster horses in the race.
Chad?
It was a heartbreaking scratch in the Kentucky Derby a year ago. I'm sure the connections would love nothing more than to win, defeating this year's Kentucky Derby winner, but I think he needs one more start back off the layoff.
Okay, next up is Art Collector. This is one of the co-favorites, a 2-to-1 shot. There are actually 3 co-favorites in this race, if you really want to boil it down. Art Collector is one of them, a 2-to-1. He ran a 5 a couple years ago, ran a 4 after that. Since then, we have only seen a 7, which actually came right after the 4. The last 4 races for Art Collector, 11, 17, 8, and 10, John.
At 2-to-1, he's absolutely a play against. You have clearly faster horses in the race, and he looks like maybe cooked for a while. I don't like him.
Yeah, Chad, this horse has won his last 2 races, but it does seem like he's a little bit slower this year than last year.
He's a really cool horse to watch train and to watch run, but he seems to dominate the lesser fields, and when he runs against the better competition and the better quality of horse, he's come up a little short in the past. Luis Saez goes down to Churchill to ride him, which is interesting of note. Could have been in, stayed in New York for some of their big races, but I do think there's some others that are a little bit better than him, probably.
All right. Well, one of them could be Happy Saver, a 5-to-2 shot, who, unlike Art Collector, 17, 8, 10 this year, Happy Saver has 8, 7, 5. A complete different story, John, as far as the sheets with Happy Saver and Art Collector, even though Happy Saver has 5 consecutive runner-up finishes coming into this race.
Well, he may get another runner-up finish here, but off the sheets, this horse is fine. He had a 5 toppers last year at Churchill. He ran a 5 last time out at Saratoga. He certainly could run the 5 tomorrow he actually even has a shot to make a forward move, but he's certainly a major player in here.
Chad?
He's never wowed me. I thought his last race was probably his best race, and that was kind of, if you remember back, I read Ortiz on Life is Good, kind of cut him off a little bit, going inside and stopping his momentum. Maybe it would have been a little bit closer in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, but at the end of the day, or the Whitney, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, he's just he lacks that one wow move. I like the horse. I think he can pick up a piece, but he's never been that horse that just kind of grabs you and does those things. Maybe this is his coming out party. Maybe now, he's a little bit more mature and he'll be a force into the Breeders' Cup Classic. This is a really big race for him, for his future as to what he is. Like Jonathan said, on numbers, he's getting better, and he has every possible chance to win this race. I mean, he beat Hot Rod Charlie last time. They were second and third in the Whitney behind Life is Good. Life is Good's not here. He's supposed to win this race. I'm not going to pick him, but this is an important race for Happy Saver, I think.
All right. By the way, Velasquez on board for the second straight time. Rode him for the first time in the Whitney. Okay, now comes Rich Strike, Derby winner. Rich Strike, who ran a 10 in the Derby, followed that up with an 11 at the Belmont, but did run a 7 last time out at the Travers, John, which is the best number he has so far run.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, Chad even said he liked the way he was training that day. I thought Chad was crazy, but he ran the number. He ran a 7, to tell you the truth. That was a lifetime top. But I don't like him tomorrow, and it took him all that time. He finally got to the 7. This horse may turn out to be okay after all, but I just don't think he's as good as these. And it's a 3-year-old. He's facing Alders, which isn't a help, I don't think.
Chad, do you think this is the horse that we need to play to make some money? Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm going to put him underneath. I'm going to put him in my second spot. I think he can win. He's gotten better. Look, I didn't think he had a shot in the Derby. I didn't like him in the Belmont Stakes. He's really caught my eye when he went on to Saratoga and how he trained in Saratoga and how he looked physically in the Travers. He very much belonged in the race, and we know he loves Churchill Downs. He's 2 for 2 at Churchill, and I understand he's a 3-year-old taking on Olders, but it's not the best Olders of everybody, and I think he has a shot to show something here. So to me, I wouldn't be shocked to see him run a big race. And I think the race kind of sets up well for him to kind of make that run. And he showed kind of last time, he doesn't have to come from dead last. It's a smaller field here, which I think will be to his benefit. I think he's a horse that you have to use. And you're getting, if you like him, you're getting the price to play him, Jonathan. I mean, he's not, one of these 2-to-1, 8-to-5 favorites. You're getting a little bit of value in a small field.
I like him better than Our Collector, I'll tell you that much. But, I mean, Our Collector at 2-to-1, he's 6-to-1. It's not even a question. You're supposed to bet him before you bet Our Collector. But I don't like either one of them, to tell you the truth.
All right. Here's the one to beat. Hot Rod Charlie, 8-to-5. Hot Rod Charlie coming off a 4 in the Whitney. This year, 4 races, 2 7s, a 6, and a 4. Interesting. He's had like two streaks in the sheets. He began his career and made a run from an 11 all the way down to a 4. And then after the 4 went to an 8, but then started a new streak and went from an 8 back to a 4. So we'll see what he does this time after the 4. But this is the one to beat, John?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's the fastest horse. He's a point faster than Happy Saver. He's run a 4 twice. Happy Saver's never run a 4. I think he's going to be tough in this spot.
What do you think, Chad?
I didn't like how he looked physically in Saratoga last time in the Whitney. Look, when he was in Dubai, he looked unbelievable. And the O'Neill barn and Leandro Morrow, the assistant, have done a great job with this horse, managing this horse and putting him in the right spots all along. He just looked like he took a little bit longer, and it happens to sometimes for those horses, the Dubai bounce and things like that. He was there for an extended period of time. I think he's better now than he was in the Whitney. I was surprised that the number came back the way it came back because I thought he ran a little flat in the Whitney. I didn't really love the way that they rode him that day. I don't mind the jockey change to Tyler Gaffleone, who rode this horse in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, almost shocked the world at like 96-1 the last time he was on Hot Rod Charlie. So he breezed him the other day. I think he's going to be riding him with confidence. And the Lukas Classic it's turned into a really interesting prep race. I won this race a few years ago with Mind Your Biscuits. Brad Cox won it last year with Nick Sko, who went on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a good distance. It's a good race. It's a good kind of stepping stone because it's never really a huge field. And it lets you kind of see where you're at with your horse. Life is good. Hot Rod Charlie needs to win this race. This is very, very important. As when we talked about with Happy Saver, that it's an important race for him. This is a very important race for Hot Rod Charlie. He knows he's going to be 10-1, 12-1 in the Breeders' Cup Classic, no matter what happens in this race. But he needs to take care of business on Saturday to move forward to the Breeders' Cup Classic, to think that he's a horse that has a chance. He's supposed to win this race. He's the best horse in the race for sure.
And 6 doesn't belong.
Correct.
All right. So
I like 5-3. Basically called. I'll throw 5-4 in a little bit in honor of Chadwick. Right. 5/3 and 4 main punch should be 5-3.
5/3. Chad, you going with 5-4?
I hate to say this because I love Chuck. I love Hot Rod Charlie. I'm a big fan of the connections. I'm going to box the 4-5. I do like Hot Rod Charlie slightly best, but it's 6-1. And I don't think I would have said this 2 months ago, or even, you know. But
you may not have said it 2 weeks ago.
he's growing on me here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try and take a swing and go Rich Strike, and play him in a box with Hot Rod Charlie. And I think you maybe have to use Happy Saver a little bit, but I think I think Rich Strike can pull the upset again. I really do.
All right, so that's going to do it for our free viewers. Again, check us out at Prime. Actually, it is patreon.com/PrimeSN. You can check out our link. That's available in the description area of our show page. And again, it's only $5 a month. So try it out, and you won't regret it, especially if you are a diehard horse fan. So let's, and of course, you want to make money. That's the whole idea, making money. And for $5 investment a month, I don't know what else we can do for you there. But best of luck, and we will see you free viewers next week.